to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. I'm Julie Davison, and this is my mama, Susan LaCroix. We have been demonstrators for 19 years, and we live a couple states away. I'm here in Illinois, and mom lives in Michigan, and so we don't get to stamp very often together in person. So Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie is our way to share projects every week virtually. So we record on Zoom, and we share projects using the same stamp set or designer paper or product, and get a chance to connect for the week. So I'm so glad that you're joining us to connect with us and allow us to share with you this week. How are you doing, Mom?
I'm doing great. Been, hostess club this past week, so it was busy, dog grooming and all kinds of stuff. So
well, you're busy too, constantly, like
and
all
a certain person's birthday.
Yes. Yes, at this point it's been Dad's birthday. And I can hardly believe, well, I just can't believe it's November. Like
Right?
how is it already November? I just feel like the
Yeah.
year has gone so fast. We started doing Sunday stamping in May.
June.
Was it June?
Yeah, we discussed it in Hawaii over lunch. You came up with the idea.
Yes,
We
that's
filmed
right.
a
And that was
little
in May.
video to say this is what we're going to do, and then we decided to start the first weekend in June.
That's hard to believe that it's been 5 months.
This is 23, I think.
Yeah, it is 23.
Yeah.
So 5.5 months.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's hard to believe, but we're having so much fun. Like I love that we get to do this every now and then. We get to film together in person, but I love filming in person together. I love having you here with me and being able to see what we're doing in person. But I do also really love doing this on Zoom. And when we do it together like this virtually, there's sort of this element of surprise. Sometimes we know what each other is going to show, but other times, just like seeing it for the first time. And so there is some fun I find in that. Like,
I agree.
Sort of a secret reveal. In fact, I don't know if I know what you're showing today. If I do, I've forgotten. So it's going to be like a surprise for me. Are you ready to share with us?
I sure am. So I'm going to slide my chair over.
Let's flip this over.
Today we're going to show Welcoming Woods, and it's a standalone stamp set. It's not part of a suite, it's not part of a bundle, but when I first saw this, I was like, ooh, I love trees like this that we can do, especially in winter scenes.
Yes.
So I'm doing a winter scene with this one. So, and there's some beautiful samples here, and this is on page 46 of the mini catalog. So if you kind of overlook this as you're thumbing through, you might want to check out page 46, especially after you see what we're going to do with these.
Right. I have a confession to make. I bought this in my pre-order because I loved it, and I did not use it until the card that I made to share today. Like, I don't know why. I just it hasn't been on my radar. I think because it is standalone. Like, even though I had it on my shelf, like I still forgot about it because it doesn't have coordinating paper and it doesn't have coordinating dies. But you don't need all of that stuff sometimes to make beautiful cards.
No, you really don't. And so anyway, I hope you like what we're going to do today, because something a little bit different. So I'm all set up, and I think I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move my catalog out of the way and show you the stamp set, Welcoming Woods. It's the biggest image are these trees, and then there's some smaller images to coordinate. There's some falling leaves, there's some snowflakes, there's all kinds of different greetings for different seasons, and then there's this piece here, and I think it's supposed to go along the bottom. If you hit, I'm not sure.
I was just thinking about that and thinking, like, how is that piece supposed to go?
It could be maybe if you're going to put like a banner greeting, and you could stamp those underneath, maybe. I honestly, I don't know. I haven't used it, and I'm not using it today. So yeah. Well,
we'll come up with something.
Let me look. Let me look here. You know what? Is this it here along the bottom of these trees? I think so. So maybe you stamp those first and then you line up the trees. I bet
Huh.
that's okay. Huh, interesting. I'll have to try it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't use it today. So anyway, so here is the stamp set. I'm going to move that aside. And so my card, I think it's pretty simple. There's not a lot of product I'm using. Gray Granite is my card base, and I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight, which is 4 inches by 4 inches by, I'm not sure. I'll have the dimensions in there. This is 4 inches by 1.5. That I know. I don't remember what this dimension is, but not a problem. All right. So I'm going to set the card base aside for a moment. And what I'm going to do with this is, there it is. I'm going to emboss these trees with Versamark, and I'm going to do it in white. So I'm not using all the trees on here. I played around, did it, cut it down. And what I'm doing is I'm just gonna stamp this here. I want the top of the trees to be off the piece of cardstock. And the reason I'm showing you this, because I've already embossed one that I'm going to use it. Oh man. Well, it's a good thing I've already got one done. So I embossed it in white. Let me pull this up here.
I was gonna say you could turn it over.
I could, but I've already got one done.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh my God. I mean, seriously, just that right there looks so beautiful.
Is it pretty? But I'm going to take dark gray granite and I'm going to color the trees. So that's why I wanted, one of the reasons I wanted to pre-do it. And I hope this shows up on camera.
Yeah, I think you can tell. You can tell it's getting darker.
Good. And I actually, on my sample card that I was working on, I actually colored this several times. So I kind of let it dry and added another layer.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to make sure that the granite showed up well.
And this, you are using, I just want to point this out, Stampin' Blends.
Stampin' Blend.
The alcohol marker. So the alcohol is what is able to dry on the embossed
Correct.
image. If you used regular markers, then it would not
Right.
work.
That is so true. Thank you, Julie. So I'm gonna I think that's dry enough. I'm gonna come back over and just do another layer.
Now, is that the light or the dark of the markers?
It's the dark.
Okay.
Because then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do some more embossing on this. Yeah. And even though I'm kind of running over, it'll dry and you won't really see that. So, all right, I think that's good. So now I'm going to come back through with this and some snowflakes.
Oh.
And emboss that in white as well. So when I got carried away the first time I so I'm going to try to not stamp so many snowflakes. Maybe a little more here. I'm going to stop. Stop right there. Okay. Always cover your Versamark. Yeah, this is my Versamark.
I was just thinking about it because it looks so beautiful and clean.
And we don't sell the powder, the trays. So I use dollar store coffee filters.
I love that. In fact, I started doing that too. I would usually just use like a piece of paper, but I really like those coffee filters. I was so glad I saw you do that.
Well, and the thing too is that if they get messed up or dirty or whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I can throw them out.
What I like about them, instead of using paper, which is what I did before, is that they're so flexible. And easier to you direct back into the jar afterwards.
And I think it's the round shape too, the kind of fluted round shape that helps.
Yeah.
So should have warmed up my heat tool.
That's so crazy because like I heard it at first, but now I don't.
Oh, good. I always wonder, you know, when we're filming and I'm trying to emboss, so I try to have it.
Well, it's like I think your microphone is like is being fancy, you know, and like and choosing to block that sound because it thinks it's not supposed to.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to layer this.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
I am going to stamp the greeting on the card base. Like I said, I don't have a lot of pieces of things. Whoop.
You know
So,
me, I like clean and simple.
oh yeah, you do. This is probably not like me. So I think I'm going to go right about there.
Did you emboss the white or leave it plain?
I left it plain. I debated. All right. So my greeting is every season brings its own wonder.
I love that.
So I'm just going to stick this right there. And then we can start gluing things down. And then I have another little trick. No, it's not really a trick. I shouldn't say that. Another thing to show with this. I debated about having the basic white go all the way across or leave edges. I decided to leave edges. Oh, look what I did. Am I going to be able to cover that? No.
What happened
I got ink
on the card?
on the piece of white.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh man, I did. Shush, big old blue smear. All right. Good thing I cut another piece of paper, huh?
Ah, there you go. Now don't smear again.
I know, right?
I always keep sanitizer on my hand to take off crazy ink that comes from nowhere.
All right, so we're gonna stick this guy on, kind of off center, but not too much. So
I really like this layout.
okay, so now I want to add some bling because that's what I do. So I'm taking some markers. And I've got the dark Misty Moonlight and the dark Night of Navy because sometimes the alcohol blends on the they don't quite look the same color.
All right, hold up 1 second. Show me the end of your marker.
I will because I have new ones of these that I just got because these are pretty nasty. Because these will, I was just gonna mention that. Of course.
No, I was looking at the label.
Oh, on the end?
Yeah.
Okay, so NN, Night of Navy, MM, Misty Moonlight.
That's smart.
They're alphabetized in my rack. Angie did that.
So how did, like, what did you use for the label? Oh dear Lord.
I used just some white like label stuff.
Okay.
And, punched it out with the circle punch.
Oh, perfect.
So, and then yeah, one of them fits pretty perfectly there. Okay. So now that I've got ink all over my hands.
I'm sorry to interrupt you too.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So these three are Misty Moonlight and these three are Night of Navy. And basically, you don't want to use your blunt point. Which one is it? Misty. Oh, this is Night of Navy. So I'm going to go along this way. And so you just kind of use the side and it will fray up your end. I won't lie to you. So it doesn't take much. You can just, that way you can get any one of our colors.
Yeah.
So I kind of think the Night of Navy ones are a better match. What do you think? Can you see, Jewel? This is a Misty Moonlight and this is a Night of Navy.
I mean, it's hard to see on my screen, but yeah, I like the Night of Navy better, I think.
Okay. So I sometimes I do up a bunch and just leave them if I know I'm going to be working on a project. So these I like to make sure they're dry. So these three. So this is a Night of Navy. Let's put him over here. This is a Night of Navy. So I did these earlier just to make sure that they were good and dry. Down here, up here, no, down here, down here. There we go.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Well, it's quick, it's simple. Just using the blend embossed white. As you mentioned, it doesn't emboss, and then just having the white snowflakes kind of coming down. So that's it.
I
Oh.
absolutely never would have thought to double emboss. Like that looks
Oh.
really nice.
Oh, thanks. I forgot to do the inside. I was gonna do basic white and do some snowflakes. So I'll have to do that.
Okay.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
Oh,
My project for
it
the
looks
day,
great. Are you ready for me to switch?
I am ready for you to switch.
Okay, so as you were starting, I was like, oh, I forgot to pull out samples. And I thought I had more with this stamp set, welcoming goods, but I can't find them. The only one I can find, check this out. It's yours.
It's not.
This was a swap card from you with the peaceful deer.
Yeah, and I couldn't find that. I was looking for it.
Welcoming goods. Well, I swear I didn't steal yours.
No. I gave it to you. I made two
I
and
know.
I find where mine is. So I don't know.
All right, well, I'm using the big trees too, because, well, that's pretty much one of the only images in the set. And originally you were going to do winter and I was supposed to do fall, but the card I'm doing is not necessarily fall. I have to say, you know how much I love sunsets, and with the time kind of changing, I feel like I'm seeing more sunsets because I'm still out dropping kids off and picking stuff up. Like, you know, I'm out and about more because the sun is setting earlier. And so I've seen some really gorgeous sunsets recently. And so I really wanted to do like a sunset card. So this is a technique that I haven't done in a little while. We're using markers. Now these are the Stampin' Write markers. So these are different from the Stampin' Blends markers like you were using. And that's one reason I wanted to sort of make the, make the distinction between what you were using and what I was using. These are water-based dye markers, like our ink pads, and you're using alcohol markers. So we do have them in like many colors have both markers, both the Stampin' Blends and the regular markers. Okay, so the Stampin' Write markers are only available in color families right now. So like the Brights, the Regals, in colors. And so I chose colors that were all from the Brights. And there was one particular sunset driving home the other day that like I was driving, so I couldn't take a picture, but like I just snapped like a picture in my head, and the colors were just so beautiful. And it really started with that like yellow at the bottom, and then there was a little bit of pink, and then this like just beautiful like shades of blue as it went up. And I was crossing over that Bradley Bridge, Mom, and so it was just like this just big sky in front of me. It was
pretty
beautiful. So this card is like I tried to recreate that in this card. So we're going to use a clear black. This is black E. The letters are on the side, black E. So this is the second to largest black, not the really big one that takes up the whole card front. This is like the next size down from that. And so this is marker directly onto the black, and we're creating a background with it. So I'm using the brush tips, and I'm just going to do like these sort of these lines, these swipes like back and forth, and I'm building from the bottom up just like that sunset. So I've got Mango Melody, and then I'm doing some Flirty Flamingo, and I'm kind of like overlapping that line just a little bit. Next up is Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to do a lot more of the Coastal Cabana and then add a little bit of a darker blue at the top, and that is going to be Bermuda Bay. So again, all of these are from the Brights. And you can see like I'm swiping back and forth and not going, I don't know how you can see this. Let me put this behind it. Maybe that's a little better. Like not going all the way to the edges. You know, I really want to kind of have a line where like, I don't know, you'll see when I do the next part. So I've got the marker bit down, and the next thing I'm going to do is use a Stampin Spritzer. Now these come in a 2-pack. It's like $3 or something like that. So each one, they're exactly the same. You unscrew and you can put water in there or alcohol in there and do different techniques. I kind of ruined mine because I put so much like re-inker and paint and other things in there that it was time for some new ones. So this is just straight up water, because this is a water-based ink. So I'm going to spritz, and I have to say, you don't want to spritz too much, because the first one I did, I spritzed too much, and like the colors like blended into each other and made like green. I don't want a green sky, like right, that is not good weather when there's a green sky. So you don't want to do too much. So I'm just going to spritz like 3 times. And that's it. Like, you're going to want to do more, but you don't need to do more. So just 3 is fine. And then you're going to center it over the white cardstock. So this is just 4 1/4 by 5, 4 inches by 5 1/4. So like a regular card front here. And then I'm just going to kind of let it kind of soak in to the card. And so you get sort of those lines. I really don't love how that didn't fill in there. I don't know why it was still on the block there, but I think it'll be covered up, because now we're going to cover this up with the trees, and we're going to stamp over it. So you have sort of this sunset trees, and hopefully it'll cover up. Now I do want to say our ink pads are water-based ink. And so really it's best to let this dry completely before you stamp on it, because if you still have some moisture on there, that could cause the stamp image to bleed. And I don't want the trees to bleed. I just wanted the background. So this one looks better anyway. So this is one I did ahead, and I'm just going to stamp and make sure I get lots of good pressure and a good image.
So that's basic gray, right? That you're stamping?
Yeah, this is basic gray. I debated about doing early espresso. I didn't.
Oh, like the gray.
I don't know. Sometimes my Memento pad, like, it doesn't. I don't know. Like, it's just not juicy in the way that like these pads are. And then I didn't want to use StazOn with photopolymer, so I like the basic gray, I think. So like, simple card. Like, we're gonna do a little punched greeting, but before we do that, I was trying to decide which color card base to use here, and I keep going back and forth. So I've got the gray, which I think really makes the colors pop, and then I also have Bermuda Bay, which I think makes the sky pop. What do you think, Mom?
I like the basic gray.
Okay, let's go with that. I actually have one that's finished on the blue, so we're going to do a this or that, and everybody at home can say which one they like better. So one tip I have with this, usually I'm not so excessive with the adhesive, but because your cardstock was wet and may curl depending on the amount of water that you used, I'm going to be really liberal going all the way around the edges to make sure that the card front like adheres completely all the way around and doesn't curl up on this card. I did have a piece to go inside, so I'm going to, maybe I'll just do a little.
You know what you can put on there? You can put some of the leaves.
Ooh.
That's pretty.
I don't have that stamp out, so I'm just going to stick with the trees for now, but absolutely you could put some of the leaves or the snowflakes if this was going to be a winter card. That would be really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the front, all the words are kind of small on this set, which against these big trees, I think they sort of get lost a little bit, but I like this best wishes because I've said this before. I think that best wishes like fits for so many occasions, right? You can send best wishes for someone's birthday or for their graduation or anniversary or wedding or, you know, whatever. So I want to use this Label Me Fancy punch, but it is a little big for my sentiment. And so I'm going to make it smaller. So I'm going to first punch it, and I'm going for like kind of a squarish, not squarish shape, but instead of a long rectangle, more of a square. Oops. So I punched part of it, and then I'm holding it in place and sticking it back in to the bottom to get the other end of it. So I have sort of that small shape. I'm really missing our little circle punches. And so this is just a way that I could get like a smaller shape that still has kind of that fun angle on it. So I'm going to do that in basic gray. Sorry, I went off camera there. And then the background is so pretty. I didn't want to add a whole lot, but I love this soft pool party ribbon. This is a sheer ribbon. And I thought that that was just enough to like add something to it without distracting from the beautiful background.
Yeah, that is, I have that ribbon and I don't know that I've used it.
I know it's almost too soft. I don't use it a lot because it is not a very not versatile. I don't know the word I'm looking for. It doesn't make a big statement, and so I don't. Sorry, I keep going off camera to cut my ribbon.
It's okay. I'm happy to see you're using your ribbon scissors for that.
I always use these scissors for ribbon. I just also sometimes use them for paper. Okay. Stampin' Dimensionals on our little tag, and then I'm going to show you how it looks on the blue, and you can you guys can decide at home which one you like better. I really can't decide. If I could, I wouldn't give you an option. I would just finish the card. Okay, I like that. Just kind of whenever I am thinking about placement, like one of the rules about photography is doing like the rule of thirds, right? So if you picture, let me draw you really quick what I'm talking about. If you take your frame, right, like your lens or whatever you're looking at, and you draw thirds both ways, right? So in each direction. My thirds aren't even, but you get the picture. You want your object of focus, like the thing that you're taking a picture of, ideally to fall in like one of those areas of the card, right? Like in the bottom section or the top section, like there. So I always think about that when I'm designing a card. So I used that rule to put my sentiment right there in that rule of thirds. Now you can stick it right in the center, and let me see if I can just peel it up and show you like the difference. If you put
No, just leave it, Jay. We got it. Oh,
I know. I'm going to cover it back up. It's going to be fine. But like, if you go right in the center, like, I don't know why. Like, I don't understand necessarily the science behind it, but like, it is definitely more pleasing to my eye anyway to have it be like down there. Like my attempt, the focus of the my eye goes, down instead of here. I feel like I don't know. Anyway. Well, thirds. That's why I put it where I did.
So let me try to explain why I think it's the rule of thirds. I mean, it's the same thing when you're placing or you're putting a number of elements on there, like rhinestones. If you do it like in the center, your brain's trying to divide it.
Yes.
And it doesn't try to divide it here. So that's why it's more neurologically pleasing to put it where you put it. So
all right, so here are the two cards, the gray, basic gray, and Bermuda Bay. And like individually, I like them both very much, but I can't decide. I don't know. Now that I'm seeing them finished, I am leaning towards the gray. I was worried that the gray was too dark and that it was like gonna wash it out, but
not at all.
I think the blue is a little brighter, but the colors just pop so nicely, I think, on the.
Yeah,
on the gray.
I think so too. Beautiful, beautiful card. I haven't done that technique in so long.
I know, right? It's so
It's just
fun to
kind of bringing these things back.
Exactly. And this is a timeless technique. That's so beautiful.
Oh.
And you could do this. I remember doing it for like beach scenes and doing like sand and watercolors. You could do winter and you could do like shades of blue. So there's so many ways to do this fun background stamp. But this stamp set, the Welcoming Woods, really lends itself well to that technique.
I think so.
All right, are you ready to switch cameras?
I am, Jay.
All
Just
right.
a fun one.
Gonna add myself here. Add spotlight. I'm gonna show the gray one. All right, are you ready for a picture?
Yeah, I am.
All right, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Oh my gosh. I love how different our cards look, but use the same stamp set. This stamp set really has so many possibilities.
It does. You know, you think, oh, maybe it's just we can do a fall card, we can do a winter card, but you know, I think there's a lot we can do. And the greetings in the stamp set, because there's
oh my gosh,
there's so many different things in there. I mean, yes, every season brings its own wonder. Doesn't necessarily need to be Christmas. So it could be spring. It could be
7 sentiments. Like
yeah.
that's a lot. And they're really useful ones too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, friend. Celebrate. Happy birthday. Best wishes. And then, the season one, like to me, like you said, that could be for any season. Like it's not specifically winter season.
Yeah.
Though these branches are bare. So if you're not using, I guess you could use the leaves and have them be green. They're falling.
That's what I was thinking. Like granny apple green.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't wait to play some more. Now that I remember I have this set, and we'll definitely have to figure out how to use that little border thing because
yes, I think, like I said, I think it just looking at one of the images in the catalog, I think if you stamp that first and then you like 2-step stamping and then try to put the trees in the voids of the bottom, that strip. I'm going to try it anyway.
Well, I can't wait to see. You can show us next week what you came up with. It's homework. I'm assigning homework.
Oh, homework. Oh no.
like the sheep costume for that was homework. No, it's okay. I'm not going to assign homework, but if you do play with it, we would love to see what you come up with, because I do feel stumped by that stamp. Okay, so what's going on this week? It is On Stage starts this week on Thursday.
Absolutely. So so we definitely need to record ahead, because we're going to be traveling. Well, I'll be traveling back from I've rented an Airbnb up near Saginaw Bay. So if you're does that look like Michigan, or does this looks like Michigan? So this is Saginaw Bay. And so our Airbnb is right down.
Well, I think your thumb needs to come up.
It does, but I have arthritis. So so I'm trying to do this. So Saginaw Bay is here. And so our Airbnb just a little. No, there's a little more opening in the mitten. Oh, I don't have my mitten shirt on. If I had my mitten shirt on, I could point to my shirt. Anyway, so it's
Illinois.
On some water. It's on some water. We got a great deal on it. We did have them do a speed test on the Wi-Fi to make sure it'll work. So Dan said,
good.
Sure. And so, I mean, we each get our own bedroom with either a queen or a king, and we each get our own recliner to
nice
to stamp with. And so, so now we're trying to do meal planning. So Michelle and Barbara and I are going to go up there, and I think it'll be fun. Last year I was just by myself in my living room, and I just really missed being around people, because normally this would be in Salt Lake City or in another venue live with thousands of demonstrators with us. So
Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, we were in Lansing together.
That's right.
And that was the last in-person Stampin' Up event. So it's virtual again this year. It was virtual last year. Hopefully we'll be back in person next year. But honestly, so I've got a Airbnb in town that we're gonna stay at just to sort of have like a little mini retreat. But I was thinking about all the perks of being virtual. We could be in our pajamas and we could be in recliners, and we don't have to travel far. Like our Airbnb house that we're staying at is like 5 minutes from my house. So like if I forget something, I can come home and grab it. But it's still somewhere to, go and have that little like mini retreat and be away. So, you don't have to travel. You can watch from home or, get together with friends. And you can sleep somewhere comfortable and dress comfortable, and we don't have to sit in a big convention center all day. We can, sort of have a more flexible schedule with food and meals. And I don't know, I'm a homebody, so virtual conferences have been kind of nice. And the thing I miss most is seeing people like that. It's just not the same.
It's not the same
Not the
at
same.
all. And it's fun when we get together in a live event, because as we gather, we see some of our stamping friends that we haven't seen for a while. So it's fun to catch up with them and swap them, because swaps, that's a huge part of On Stage are swaps. And so I miss that, because I usually make, I don't know, 25, 30 maybe. And that's good enough for me to have, get a good sampling of what people are doing and just connect.
I just had a thought. We should do an on stage swap, like just a 1-for-1. So I'll send a note out to our team who are participating in on stage. And
1-for-1, or well, because we can do more than one. But yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, no, 1-for-1. So we send directly to each other instead of sending to a host. And so then everyone gets like a card in the mail, because packages are so expensive that like it doesn't really make sense to do a package for a swap, like if you have such a small number of cards. So yeah, a 1-for-1 using one of the new sets, either the set that we could get early for make and takes, or the set swag. Yeah, I'm excited.
You have some ideas. So yeah, I am excited about it. And this, the new one that we were able to pre-purchase for On Stage is really pretty.
It is.
I am excited to start doing things. So
I was just going to say that one's going to be in the new mini catalog. So as you start seeing samples and as we share, what we're making and doing with it, you'll be able to get that in January when the new catalog starts. So that's the big thing with On Stage, is being able to see the new catalog first and seeing project ideas and demonstrations, and then getting to order early and getting, in our swag box and the order before the event for the make and takes, and then the PPP, and then the
Did you like your swag box?
I did. I really did. I thought it was fantastic. I liked it better than last year's, honestly. Like,
I think I do too.
Yeah. I love it came with a bag and a stamp set. And what else was in it?
Some matte paper, some grid paper,
a notebook, and some beautiful pencils.
Oh yeah, pens,
and then the pins to exchange.
Yes, I just have a drawer full of those. I haven't exchanged. I haven't done anything.
Well, it's a little hard for a virtual event to exchange pins when you don't see people in person. But the idea was, and they started doing this before we went virtual, doing these pins at the events that like you could trade with other people at the event. So there were maybe, 4 different cards of pins. So people were getting different pins, and so then you could trade like, oh, I'll trade you the, the flower for the umbrella, or the kangaroo for the ice cream cone, or, whatever. Like, they're just sort of like collector's pins. So kind of a fun idea. I do have all mine from the last few on stages on a lanyard. And so I keep adding them as we have a new event. So this is I think, third collection of pins from On Stage. So it's
So,
just fun. They're like just different shapes and usually tying in with images from the catalog. So
yeah.
like the kangaroo, when we had the kangaroo set.
Yeah. Butterflies when we had
Years
the
ago.
big butterfly set, and
Mhm.
yeah.
I've got
Anyway,
it's up my nose.
so we have yeah. So that's going to be this week. So we'll have to tell you all about it next week.
Yes.
And, and we could probably share then, couldn't we? Share some things?
So
No, not yet.
I have to look. I feel like the policy changes all the time. We'll definitely have to look before
We'll
we
have to
share.
check. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like we can share. Yeah, I mean, I've seen projects already with
Oh.
the stuff that we could pre-order, so we could probably share.
I think
Like the stamp sets that we have received, we cannot share like pictures that we take of
Yeah.
the screen or that kind of thing.
we got another set that's in the upcoming mini catalog. It's a little set of greetings. Do you remember that? I've kind of tucked it aside. If it's not, yeah. I'll have to, yeah. Where did we get it from? Let's see.
Greetings.
I think, was it a pillow gift in Hawaii, maybe?
That we got a set of greetings from this mini catalog with the Christmas greetings. You better get that out because it's probably current.
No, it's not Christmas greetings at all. I'll get it out and share with you.
Yes, I'm very curious now.
I'm almost sure it was a pillow gift.
Maybe you got something special I didn't get.
Oh, no.
Okay, we are definitely getting chatty. So let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Yep. So good chatting with you, Jay.
Yes, it was good chatting with you too. I'm sure we'll be connecting this week over On Stage so we can compare notes and squee over all the new stuff that we are getting to see.
Yeah, we are. We'll have to maybe do maybe on a break or something, we can do a Zoom live or something and just kind of check in with each other.
I think that would be a lot of fun, and we should definitely plan for that. I think just general, all the team members who are attending On Stage, it would be fun to do like a group Zoom,
Maybe some
during a
wrap
break.
up at the end of each day or something.
Yeah, we'll have to
arrange
plan
it.
that.
We'll chat.
Absolutely. It'll be fun. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you next Sunday at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time with some brand new projects. Thanks for watching with us, and we'll see you.
Happy stamping. Love you, Jay.
Love you too, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.